Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and today I'm going to talk about how you can forgive yourself. Now, I'm going to just say straight up, I'm not an expert at self-forgiveness. I don't know anybody who is. It seems to be one of those things that is easy for some things, even maybe things that other people would say, wow, you did that? I can't believe that, Vic. That was really crazy. And it's not hard. I'm like, yeah, well, that was a different time in my life. Fine. But there are other things, good, big or small, that we hold on to. We punish ourselves about our decision to do whatever it was. So forgiveness is just it's a complex individual thing, and it's just not easy. I don't have 3 easy steps to self-forgiveness. I wish I could offer you that. But I can share, I've started to pick up a common theme of how I truly let go and forgive myself. There's one thing that happens to create a permanent self-forgiveness, and that is clarity. Seeing the situation clearly. Oftentimes this clarity, it's beneficial to kind of see it from choose to like withdraw yourself and see it from a higher, more spiritual perspective. It's when we close in to the experience itself and relive the past that all these emotions of like, guilt and whatnot come up. I can say something, but it's not going to click. This is something you have to sort of do on your own. But essentially, everybody is acting, behaving, thinking, feeling, doing from the level of consciousness they are at. It's like when I was in 9th grade, I had this situation where I had this big group of friends, and me and my buddy got into an argument. He was saying there's muscles in your fingers or something, and I was like, no, there are not. I prided myself being a workout guy. Well, apparently he was right. There are some small muscles. He was like, no, my mom's a nurse. There are muscles. And we went back and forth, and we eventually got into a fist fight. So we're gonna meet at the park, and we're gonna fight this one out. And we fought, and he won. He kind of beat me up a little bit, and all of a sudden my friends sort of jumped in, and all my friends just stopped liking this guy, basically ostracized this kid from our group. He's a real close friend of mine, close friend of everybody else's. And in retrospect, I could have said to my friends, hey, let's let John back into the clique, man. That's not cool just to leave him out like that. But I didn't. I was resentful and embarrassed. I got my ass kicked. So basically this kid had to go and make new friends, and I just couldn't imagine how that would feel. I feel very sad and a little guilty, honestly, as I think about it. Like, wow, that was a dick move, man. But I was a fragile, insecure, little 9th grade kid with not a lot of sense. If I was to do that now, to be aware of the actual implications of the ostracizing of somebody for some stupid little reason that was partially my fault, and did it anyway, that would be a reason to feel guilty. But I wouldn't. That just wouldn't be a natural behavior I would exhibit. It's just not who I am now, and I just would not do that. So it doesn't make sense to put myself, who I am now, in that situation and relive that. Like, wow, Victor, you chose to do that. That's not cool. Well, yes, in a sense, but again, I was a young kid. But I would not do that now. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to, but when you frame it that way, that's where like the lack of forgiveness comes in. And it can just be a habit. A lot of these things we haven't forgiven ourselves from is just because we haven't really given ourselves time to think about it. It just, I might have maybe I felt a little bit of guilt early on, right away, and it just sort of has become buried deep within this massive consciousness I have, which we all have. I'm not saying it like that, but it just becomes completely buried, and yet it's still there. But if I just give myself time, maybe the awakening does a great job of bringing to the surface at least glimpses of things that are ready to be let go of. Maybe you're ready to forgive yourself about this or that situation. Well, I would bet if you just allow yourself 10, 15 minutes to sit there and like think about it, to rehash whatever you're feeling guilty about, whatever you haven't forgiven yourself about, look at it. Go back, visualize it, try to recapture it, the emotions, everything. And I would bet who you are now, the level of consciousness you have now, as you see it, you'll see it differently. You'll see more to the puzzle, and a lot of times it's just a natural conclusion that, whoa, it doesn't, I can forgive myself. It's not even a matter of I can forgive myself. I don't need to forgive myself because I don't feel guilty, because it was just something I did a long time ago that, again, was germane to my level of consciousness and place I was at in my life and current issues that sort of influenced that. That's not the case now. And secondly, what can be very helpful is some sort of physical closure as best you can. Like that, my buddy John, we didn't speak, and from that point forward, and we were like best friends. We rode around on our bikes every day together. We were like good buddies. We got along real great. It was a real shame, honestly. But I saw him at the bar many years later after high school, and I just pulled him aside and I said, listen, man, I brought that up and I explained to him, like, listen, I now know the severity of what I did. I admit I could have maybe changed things for you, and I'm very sorry you had to go through that. I just gave him a real sincere apology, and then I offered to help him. He wanted to go into the military at that time, and he was like out of shape. He needed to lose weight. I'm like, listen, man, I will train you. I will help you out and get you into that military as a way to say I'm sorry. He never took me up on it, but that was sort of all I needed. I had to kind of see it clearly. I had this revelation a long time ago. It's not something you need to be enlightened for or like really expanded. It's just a natural thing, I think, if we give ourselves time to think about the past from our current present perspective, and then just allow the natural conclusions to sort of emerge as they naturally will when you look at it. And then if you feel you need more, then go ahead and maybe do something tangible. And some people might be thinking, well, you know, the person I pissed off is dead or something. That does happen. And this was an issue a lot of people, when I was coming through my my drug addiction, a lot of people had this issue. How do you make amends? There's a big thing about the AA and NA and the 12 steps. How do you make amends to people who have died? And all the counselors and whatnot, they would say, well, you can write them a letter and just say a nice prayer for them or something. Really just say you're sorry. I did this with my grandmother. I was kind of she was dying at the time I was going through my addiction, and I wasn't mean to her or anything, but you know, I felt bad about certain things, so I did that a long time ago in that way, and it helped. So clarity, and then maybe something tangible is a way to prove, not even to them, but to yourself, that you are sorry, and then that can just sort of complete that cycle. And I think you'll find the need to forgive yourself sort of obsolete and irrelevant, because there'll be no need anymore. That'll just kind of be gone. And sometimes you can go through this whole process and there's not an immediate effect. Well, I still feel a little guilty. Well, sometimes there are echoes of emotions and thought patterns and even life experience of things that we've perpetuated and sort of ingrained. So you just do your thing, and I would bet that whatever feelings you're feeling guilty about will slowly you'll just wake up one day and go, hold on, that's completely gone. So that's my take on it. Again, I'm not a forgiveness expert, but I've had to do a lot of forgiving throughout my life, as a lot of us do, of other people and myself, and that's what I've concluded, sort of a blend of my own life experience and my insight of the awakening. So take it for what you will. Hope it helps you guys. You can let me know if it works. And I will speak to you tomorrow. Namaste. Thank you for the video suggestion. It always helps. Peace.